Hello. Welcome to Two Dorks Read The Phantom of Manhattan by Frederick Forsyth, in which Natalie and Michael, two Phantom fans on a mission, subject themselves to the book that served as the launchpad for Love Never Dies, Andrew Lloyd Webber's controversial sequel to Andrew Lloyd Webber's Phantom of the Opera. Our story continues.
That's just it.
All right. Well,
excellent.
Let's see here. I'm just gonna see so it loads. Yes, it did load up.
Oh boy, we're live. We're going.
Again.
Yes. Here we are at chapter 4. If you're wondering what the hell happened to chapter 3, that ended up being last week because it was only 2 pages long.
And I moaned through it basically.
Yeah, basically, there's a really sad French guy who sings What a Dreadful Town, but he's not Raoul. He's just Armand Dufour. He's here on a mission to find Eric. He can't find Eric. Eric is too busy being, like, really ugly Christian Grey, basically, who started from the bottom and rose to the top.
Clown.
Yes, he rose to the top by way of becoming a clown boy, and then a roller coaster man, and then he got into the stonks and the bonds with his friend Darius, who taught him about the one true God, Mammon, the gold demon. I think that's what we're talking about. That's the guy.
Yeah, something like that. Like Jesus says, you can't serve both Mammon and God,
or something like that. So Eric picked one. And he hasn't looked at a piece of sheet music since, really.
Yeah.
The good news is, I don't think he's composed Bathing Beauty.
On the beach?
On the beach. Say hello. I don't think he has a dots thing. I think Webber just wanted to add that later. So that was totally better.
Let's fucking hope that, because that is cringe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like that technically there's a good chance that Eric wrote Bathing Beauty. I think it's hilarious, but from a storytelling perspective, I'm glad that he did not.
Same. It's like when I hear like Love Never Dies, it's like we have to suspend our disbelief so much if we're going to believe that the same dude who wrote Love Never Dies, the song, wrote Bathing Beauty.
And Don Juan Triumphant.
Yes. That's just... it's just bonkers.
Bathing Beauty. La la.
With a girl that is stuck up on the beach. Time for my unending screech.
She has to wear her dots. Sorry.
Okay.
That was a lot. I'm sorry, guys. But, so here we are, Chapter 4, Phantom of Manhattan by Frederick the Forsyth.
The Forsyth.
Yes. I don't know who this boy is, but this is called The Luck of Cholly Bloom. And we don't know him, I don't think.
You will start out this one.
Yes. Since Michael kicked off on the last couple of chapters, just the first one's because just by how it all fell, it's my turn, and this looks like it's a real American at the helm of this point of view, as written by a British man who's writing a very American man. So
it's right on point.
Yep. And as I am an American who is living in the UK, I think this is my oeuvre. Let's go. The Luck of Cholly Bloom. Louis Bar, 5th Avenue at 28th Street, New York City, October 1906. I tell you guys, there are times when being a reporter in the fastest, hummingest city in the world is the greatest job on earth. Okay, we all know that there are hours and days of foot slogging and nothing to show for it. Leads that go nowhere, interviews rebuffed, no story. Right? Barney, can we have another round of beers here? My God. Yep. There are times when there's no scandal at City Hall. Not many, of course. No celebrity divorce, no bodies at dawn in Central Park, and life loses its sparkle. Then you think, what am I doing here? Why am I wasting my time? Maybe I really should have taken over my dad's outfitters in Poughkeepsie. We all know the feeling. But that's the point. I'm sorry, he's Danny DeVito. He's Danny DeVito.
But that's the point.
But that's the point. That's what makes it better than selling men's pants in Poughkeepsie. Suddenly, out of left field, something happens. And if you're smart, you see a great story within your grasp. Happened to me yesterday. Gotta tell you about it. Thanks, Barney. God damn.
What the hell? Are you gonna do it naked as well if we're gonna do Danny DeVito?
I have no idea. Don't worry. Look, this is Cholly Bloom. He is an entity. He is a force, I guess.
It's not Frank.
I'm looking forward to knowing how this man gets involved with Eric, quite frankly. Hey, Eric, get me some beers. Mr. Mulheim, you're running one of the best bars in the city. Keep it up.
Oh, jeez.
All right. It was in this coffee shop. You know Fellini's on Broadway at 26th? A bad day. Spent most of it chasing up a new lead on the Central Park murders and nothing. The mayor's office is screaming at the Bureau of Detectives, and they have nothing new, so they're in a temper and saying nothing worth printing. I face the prospect of going back to City Desk. I have no idea what that is. To say I don't even have a column inch worth of printing. So I thought I'll go in and have one of Papa Fellini's fudge sundaes. Plenty of maple. You know the one? Keeps you going. All right. So it's crowded. I take the last booth. So I think if Forsyth's notes in the preface are anything to go by, I'm fairly sure that we're also partially taking LaRue's like food-loving personality and putting him into this guy, who's a journalist.
Oh God! So we have our first food critic.
Yeah, so we've got Antoinette Giry, who's stolen LaRue's death like age, basically age of death, and now we've got Cholly Bloom, who's stolen LaRue's reporter who likes food thing. So, and I assume we have Armand Dufour, who has stolen LaRue's being French thing. I don't know.
No, he has just stolen, like, the stereotypical French thing.
Yeah. So, I don't think there's too much left of LaRue to steal or to take from, but who knows?
Believe me, they'll find it.
They'll find it. They'll find it. All
it.
right. For the sake of my voice, I probably can't go full DeVito from here on out, and that's fine. So it's crowded. I take the last booth. 10 minutes later, a guy walks in looking miserable as sin. He looks around, sees I have a booth to myself, and walks over. Very polite. Bows. I nod. He says something in a foreign lingo. I point to the spare chair. He sits down and orders a coffee. Only he doesn't pronounce it coffee. He says cafe. The waiter's Italian, so that's fine by him. Only I reckon this guy is probably French. Why? He just looks French. So being polite, I greeted him in French.
I love that, Lily. He just looked French, so being polite, I greeted him in French. Like,
I don't know if it's intentionally funny, but I'm going with it. Good job.
It's fucking hilarious. Oh, let's see if I can get my DeVito going.
Or whatever, you know, he's just kind of a squeaky boy. Don't worry about it. He's just kind of like this. He's just all up into New York. It's fine.
Do I speak French? Is the chief rabbi Jewish? Well, all right, a little French. So I say to him, "Bonjour, monsieur." Just trying to be a good New Yorker. Well, the Frenchie goes crazy. He launches into a torrent of French that is way above my head. And he's distressed, nearly in tears. Reaches into his pocket and brings out a letter. Very, very important looking. With wax over the flap and a kind of seal. Waves it in my face.
Oh, it's Armand, I think.
Of course it is.
Yeah. I really hoped it was going to be Eric just French trolling him.
That would be great.
Looks miserable as sin. Couldn't tell because of the mask, but anyone wearing a mask is miserable.
Now at this point, I'm still trying to be nice to a visitor in distress. The temptation is to finish the ice cream, throw down a dime, and get out of there. But instead, I think, what the hell? Let's try and keep this guy and help this guy because he seems to have had a worse day than I have. And that is saying something. So I call over Papa Fellini and ask if he speaks French. No chance. Italian or English only, and even the English with a Sicilian accent. Then I think, who speaks French around here?
Who?
Yeah, who? No one knows. Now you guys would have shrugged and walked out, right? And
Yes.
you would have missed something. But I'm Cholly Bloom, the sixth sense man, and what stands
He sees
just
dead
one
people.
block away at 26th and 5th Delmonico's. And who run Delmonico's? Why, it's Charlie Delmonico. Oh, and where does the Delmonico family come from? All right, Switzerland. But over there, they speak all the languages. And even though Charlie was born in the States, I figure he probably has a little French. So I wheeled the Frenchie out of there, and 10 minutes later, we're outside the most famous restaurant in the whole of the United States. You guys ever been there? No? Well, it's something else. Polished mahogany, plum velvet, solid brass table lamps, seriously elegant and expensive. More than I can afford, okay? And up comes Charlie D himself, and he knows it. But that's the mark of a great restaurateur, right? Perfect manners, even for a tramp on the street. He bows and asks in what manner he can help. I explain I have come across this Frenchie from Paris, and that he has a major problem with a letter, but I cannot understand what it is. Well, Mr. D makes a polite inquiry of the Frenchman in French, and the guy is at it again, going like a Gatling gun and producing his letter. I can't follow a word, so I look around. 5 tables away is Ben Million Gates going through the menu from the date of the toothpick. Just beyond him is Diamond, Jim Brady, early dining with Lillian Russell, who has a decolletage.
Yeah, it's a cleavage.
Yeah, fucking hell. She has the tits to sink the essence with. By the by, you know how Diamond Jim eats? I've been told.
With his face in the decolletage.
Oh, yeah. I've been told it, but I never believed it. Last night, I saw it for real. He plants himself in his chair, measures an exact 5 inches, no more, no less, between his stomach and the table. Then he moves no more, but eats until his belly touches the table.
Huh.
That's fucking amazing, dude.
Is he important to the story?
I have no clue. I hope
Is Diamond Jim gonna go to Coney? All right, let's see how this.
It's a fact.
Let's see if Diamond Jim can go to Coney with us.
Oh my God! Is he like the American version of that French dude who just fucking ate everything? What was his name? Terror or something like that.
Are you
Terrare.
I'm just thinking of Mr. Creosote, but
Better give me a bucket, I'm gonna vomit. A bucket for monsieur.
A bucket for monsieur. Oh, he
And
speaks
the
French.
And the cleaning woman.
Yes. God, I'd love it if this chaos happened. If Phantom just was inserted into the Monty Python universe, I'd be really into it.
I'd be so. I would love that. It just fucking vomits over the menu. The waiter wipes it up with his arm.
Oh boy. Alrighty. I'm gonna take it and we're gonna see what Diamond Jim gets up to and if he knows Christine Daae or anything, you know. He's got connections in the opera world. Alright.
Christine Day or something like that.
Yeah. By this time, Charlie D is finished. He explains to me the Frenchie is a Monsieur Armand Dufour, a lawyer from Paris who has come to New York on a mission of crucial importance. He has to deliver a letter from a dying woman to a certain Mr. Eric Mulheim, who may or not be a resident of New York. He has tried every avenue and come up with a blank. At that point, so do I. Never heard of anybody by that name. But Charlie is stroking his beard, like he's thinking hard, and he says to me, Mr. Bloom, real formal, have you heard of the EM Corporation? Now I ask you, is the Pope Catholic? Of course I've heard of it. Incredibly rich, amazingly powerful, and totally secretive. More shares of more pies quoted on the stock exchange than anyone barring J. Pierpont Morgan, and no one is richer than JP. So not to be outdone, I say sure. Based at the EM Tower, building on Park Row. He's from all over New York. Don't worry about this guy, okay? Don't worry about my accent. He's just been everywhere. He knows his shit. He
sings the Swanee River every now and then as well.
Yep. Right, says Mr. D. Well, it may just be that the extremely reclusive personage controlling the EM Corporation could be called Mr. Mulheim. Now, when a guy like Charlie Delmonico says, it may just be, he means he's heard something. But you never got it from him. 2 minutes later, we're back on the street. I hail a passing hansom, and we're trotting downtown towards Park Row, breakneck speed. Now, do you guys see why being a reporter can be the best job in the city? I'm just saying, the trotting has just killed any suspense or any sense of movement for this story.
I love the next line, for fuck's sake.
What?
I love the next line here.
All right.
It's great.
I started trying to help out a Frenchie with a problem, and I'm facing the chance of seeing the most elusive hermit in New York, the Invisible Man himself. Do I get to do this? Order up another pint of the Golden Brew and I'll tell you. We arrive at Park Row, and he's had a few now. He's had several rounds, and drive up the tower. And boy, is it tall! It's enormous, and its tip is damn near in the clouds. All the offices are closed. It's now dark outside, but there is one lit up lobby with a desk and a porter, so I ring the bell. He comes to inquire, I explain. He lets us into the lobby and calls someone on a private telephone. It must be an inside line because he does not ask for any operator. Then he speaks to someone and listens. Then he says we should leave the letter with him and it will be delivered. Of course, I am not having any of this. Tell the gentleman upstairs, says I, that Monsieur Dufour has come all the way from Paris and is charged to deliver the letter in person. The porter says something like that down the phone, then hands it to me. A voice says, who is this talking? I say, Charles Bloom, Esquire, and the voice says, what is your mission here? Now, I'm not going to tell the voice that I am from the Hearst Press. I already have the impression that this is a recipe for going straight out the door. So I say I'm an associate in New York City of Dufour and Partners, notaries of Paris, France. And what is your mission here, Mr. Bloom? I have no idea who this is, but whatever, asks the voice, sounding as if it came straight off the Newfoundland banks. Oh, so it's like it's Newfoundland.
Newfoundland, yeah.
I cannot do that. It's almost Irish. So disregard.
Well, I can do a little bit of an Irish.
Yeah. What's your mission here, Mr. Bloom? All right, but
So I say that we have to deliver a letter of signal importance into the hands personally of Mr. Eric Bolheim. There's no personal dad name with this address, says the voice. But if you leave the letter with the porter, I will ensure it reaches his destination. Well, I'm not having any of this. It's a lie. I could even be speaking to Mr. Invisible for all I know. So I try a bluff. Just tell Mr. Bolheim, says I, that the letter comes from Madame Giry. Says Madame Giry. Madame Giry, says the lawyer. Madame Giry. I repeat down the phone. Wait, says wait, says the voice. We wait again, and then he comes back loud. Take the elevator to the 39th floor.
He's not quite that Irish, but it's close.
Oh, okay, well, still.
It's cool.
Well, you said Irish.
It's almost Irish. I didn't do a good job of explaining. Don't worry about it. You're doing good. The vowels are there. The vowels are there.
Okay. We do that. You guys ever been up 39 floors? No? Well, it's an experience. Locked in a cage, the machinery clanking all around you, and you're going up into the sky, and it sways. Eventually, the cage stops. I pull the grill to one side and we step out. There's a fellow there. The voice. Hi, Mr. Darius, he says. Follow me.
Oh, that's weird.
Oh,
So Darius has like a Newfoundland accent.
that is weird.
Like
He
that's
takes us into a long paneled room with a boardroom table with silver pieces. Clearly, not a place where a Newfoundlander should be. No.
hold up. I do just want to illustrate a
Yes.
little bit about what's going on with the Newfoundland accents. I'm just gonna pull up
Yes.
in the background, maybe just a track from like "Come From Away" or something, which is a musical that like takes place in Newfoundland.
Okay, it's fine.
And
for me.
so I'm just gonna pull it up real quick. All right, so we got here's "Welcome to the Rock."
Welcome to the rock. If you come from away, you probably understand about a half of what we say.
I don't think we can hear any of it.
You can't? Oh, they can, but you can't. Excuse me. My bad.
Actually, I'm playing this on the. I'm using the stream to play, so I should be able to hear it.
Well, there's a slight delay. Unless, you're driving yourself crazy.
Maybe I don't know.
Like with the echo, I mean, but, all right.
No. That's
You know what? Newfoundland, off the table. Don't worry about it. Just know that it's a kind of a folksy accent. It's really odd. Like, this guy killed a priest because he was bored of stuff, I guess, and he's just like, hello, I'm from Newfoundland. Like, it's
Oh,
just-
from Newfoundland.
I got real bored of the priests,
Okay.
Oh, wait, no. He is from Malta, but he has this Newfoundland accent. It's weird. It's odd. Anyway, I'm sorry. Carry on.
Okay. Where is it? He takes us up by a long panel room with a boardroom table with the silver pieces, set with silver pieces. Clearly, this is where the deals are struck. The rivals crest, the wig brought out, the millions made. It's elegant, old white style. There are oil paintings on the walls, and I notice one of defined higher than the rest. A guy in a wide brimmed hat, mustache, lace collar, smiling. Oh wait, may I see the letter? Says Darius, fixing me with a stare like a cobra, sizing up a muskrat for lunch. Okay, I've never seen a cobra or muskrat, but I can imagine. I nod to the four, and he puts the letter on the polished table between him and the Darius.
And the
There-
Darius. Frederick
yes.
the Forsyth and Darius the Darius.
Yes. There's something strange about this man that sends the hairs on my neck straight up. He's all in black. Black frock coat, white shirt, black tie, face as white as the shirt, thin, narrow, black hair, and jet black eyes that glitter but do not blink. I said Cobra. Cobra will do just fine. Now listen up, guys, because this is important. I feel the need for a cigarette, so I light up. Mistake. Bad
Oh
move.
my god.
When the match squatters, Darius comes around on me like a knife out of a sheet. No naked flame, no naked flame, if you please, he snaps. Extinguish the cigarette.
Eric is still afraid of the naked flame.
Now, I'm still standing at the end of the table, near the corner door. Behind me, there's a half-moon table against the wall with a silver bowl on it. I walk to it to stub out the butt. Behind the silver bowl is a vast silver salver, one edge on the table and the other on the wall. So it is tilted at an angle. Just as I stub the cigarette, I glance into the salver, which is like a mirror. At the far end of the room, high on the wall, the oil painting of the smiling guy has changed. A face is there. Wide brimmed hat, yes, but beneath that hat is a visage to scare the Rough Riders right out of their saddles.
But he's still wearing the lace collar, right? Like,
Yeah, right.
I assume there's just like a little face hole, and Eric's put his face in the hole of the portrait, right?
I guess.
Am I getting that wrong?
I think so. I don't know.
I don't know. Let's find out, because I gotta know what this setup is. It sounds like an interesting office.
It sounds like a perfect office for Scammo the Clown.
Yep. Under the hat is a kind of mask, covering 3/4 of where the face should be. Yeah, he's just shoving his face through a painting hole, just showing half of a crooked gash of a mouth, and behind the mask, 2 eyes boring into me like drills. I let out a yell and turn around, pointing up to the picture on the wall. Who the hell's that? I yell. The Laughing Cavalier by Franz Hals. I'm not accenting, says Darius. Not the original, I fear, which is in London, but a very fine copy. And sure enough, the laughing guy is back, mustache, lace, and all. But I'm not crazy, I know what I saw. Anyway, Darius reaches out and takes the letter. You have my assurance, he says, that within an hour, Mr. Mulheim will have his letter. Then, he says the same thing in French to Dufour. The lawyer nods. If he's satisfied, there's nothing more I can do. We run towards the door. Before I can get there, Darius says, by the way, Mr. Bloom, from which newspaper do you come? Voice like razor blades.
Should I do it?
Whatever. New York American. I mumble. New York American. I don't know what he's doing. He mumbles. What? I didn't catch that. Then we were gone. Back down to the street into a cab. Back to Broadway. I drop the Frenchie off where he wants to go and head for the city desk. I have a story. Right? Wrong. The night editor looks up and says, Cholly, you're drunk. I'm what? I haven't touched a drum, says I. I tell him my adventure of the evening, start to finish. What a story, eh? He'll have none of it. Okay, he says. You found a French lawyer with a letter to deliver and you helped him deliver it. Big deal. But no ghosts. I just had a call from the president of EM Corporation, a certain Mr. Darius. He says you called this evening, delivered a letter to him personally, lost your head, and started shouting about apparitions in the walls. He's grateful for the letter, but threatens to sue if you start casting slurs on his corporation. It's very offensive, and we will cancel you for slurs. By the way, the Bulls just picked up the Central Park murderer. Caught him in the act. Get down there and help out. So, not a word was printed. But I tell you guys, I'm not crazy and I was not drunk. I really saw that face in the wall. Hey, you are drinking with the only guy in New York who ever actually saw... Title drop. The Phantom of Manhattan.
Bum, 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 bum.
He said the title.
He said it. He said it.
Yep. Oh,
so
man.
that's why it's called that. No.
Yep.